Friday gives you better conversation about your quality of life.
Let everyone know you listen to
The New Orleans Talk Network.
Good morning. It's a great day in the Lord, and today is December 19, 2017. Our days of the old year is being countdown, and it's a great day in the morning, great day in the Lord. This is Brother Al Mims, your host of Hostages and Fight Back in New Orleans Talk Network. You can hear us on Facebook. But it's a great morning because I said that I have my only son, Cameron Alexander Mims, as my guest, special guest, and my co-host. Cameron?
Good morning. My name is Cameron Mims. I attend Xavier University, and I'm just glad to be here.
I didn't take too much to pulling or fighting to get Cameron to come over here. I wanted to let y'all see, as you said, my better half. And I'm not bragging, but I'm very proud of him. And he usually calls the show once or twice and talk about different topics. You know, today on New Orleans Talk Network, hostages that fight back, and what we mean is that we are hostages, but we're not going peacefully. I want to talk about, see, this is Christmas holidays, one of the most sacred holidays in the year. And I don't think that some people got it right. I think that I see people who are elders, I'm 64 years old. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm glad to be here. And I want to have a discussion, and we would invite you, my listening audience, to call us at 504-341-8255. I'm going to say it again. We invite you to call and, your input at 504-341-8255. We had New Orleans Talk Network. We want to talk about what's under the Christmas tree. I see people running around, people getting in fights at the parking lots, at the mall. I saw on TV, it was ridiculous to see young people beat on a girl, and I don't know you remember where it was, Cameron?
In Florida.
Florida. They were stomping this girl in the mall. And I don't know what that was all about, but it shouldn't have happened. I was embarrassed. But I see us running around, especially people of color. We're running around trying to get presents for our children, for our husband, for our wife, for our boyfriend, for our girlfriend, for our godchild, or whatever, whoever it may be. We're breaking our necks. And some of the things we're trying to put into a package should be always already in our hearts. And maybe by the end of this hour, we'll get some sense of this, or maybe help somebody, because I think we got it all wrong. First of all, I want to say that, Cameron, you as a millennium, and if I may, you're 22 years old, and you graduated from McMain with honors in 13, and I'm proud of you. But from your perspective, what do you see? What's going on about the values, family values, or lack of family values, and teaching our children, and just give us oversight. What you think? What do you see?
Well, I see, for number one, parents not being parents, parents taking it easy on kids, rewarding them for bad behavior and not for good behavior, giving them the things that they want instead of what they need. I see kids staying out late at night. Kids are basically, at this day and age, are raising themselves. You're a mother, nowadays you're a mother at, 20, some even as low as, 15, 16, even 14 years old. And you're like a grandmother by the time you're, in your 20s or even close to your 30s, great grandmother, even about 40 or whatever. So I see generations and parents are getting younger and younger, and there's no stability. There's no stability in families anymore now.
Well, saying that is that Cameron, as you growing up, you didn't hang with with people. You wasn't a groupie or thing. What was that? Well, why was it you? And I'm asking you as a father. Why didn't you didn't hang with gangs and groups, and you had very few friends. But what was going on with that?
Basically, I knew where my morals and values were. I knew what I wanted to do in life. I knew who I was. I wanted to make sure that I figured out who I was and that I was comfortable with myself. So I learned to be alone. And just the very few people who were my friends accepted me for who I was and didn't want to change me and didn't want to say, oh, you should be doing this or you should do this or whatever. So I had to be alone for a lot of times in my life to discover exactly who I was as a person and that I was comfortable with myself so that nobody can change me.
Okay, and I hear you many times say about consequences. Will you explain that? What's your make on that when you say I've said you over the years about their consequences over to us for doing decisions and with choices.
Well, pretty much, I mean, it goes without saying.
And I'm putting you on the spot, Cameron, because they hear me. I'm the elder. And we can talk about us, but this is a young man, and he's a model, and I challenge anybody to tell me, but I want to pick his brain and have opportunity to call in and ask him. And there ain't no perfect people. He's not perfect, but what he's trying to do. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Cameron.
Pretty much every choice you make, there's always choices in life. You always have a choice to do the right thing or the wrong thing, and whatever choice you make is always going to have a reaction to it, or in some cases a consequence. You can choose to hang out with this crowd, or you can choose to stay at home and do your homework like your parents tell you to do, or you can go out late at night partying. I've met plenty of people in my life. One girl who I actually work with, I'm not gonna say no names. All she likes to do is pretty much go out partying, hanging out with friends, and late nights, and get home around like 3, 4 o'clock a.m. in the morning the next day, knowing too she has to get up to go to school or get up and go to work, or she has other priorities the next day. And I just say to myself when I hear her talk, and I'm like, you realize that you're getting older now, you need to be more mature about things and take things more seriously. And that's really what's missing in our generation now. Not just the millennials, but the digital age is the one that's coming after us, and so on and so forth.
Well, let me tell you, Cameron, I know that you have had, we were talking about peer pressure. You have had people to try to get you out of who you think you are and what you are. And you said, I hear you said 1,000 times that you know who you are and whom you are. But what about those kids that who are honest students and who come from good families, but they're making bad choices? What do you think? What's the problem? What are they trying to prove, or what's the problem there?
Well, to them,
And I'm picking your brain, Kim. I'm putting you on the spot because I want to. With the answers or suggestions that you make, you're not a psychologist, but you're a young man on the other side, and maybe somebody could be helped by what you're saying.
well, different people have their own different problems, and a lot of it can stem from multiple things. From the way I've seen it, I've seen kids who are excellent kids, good grades, A students, B students, with 3.8 GPA averages, 4.0 GPAs, and they're doing all the wrong and silly things because they want to be with the in crowd. They feel as though that's not enough for them. That's not going to get me noticed. Just having good grades. I need to go out here and basically prove a point, show that I'm not just soft or I'm not weak. But they don't realize that in the long run, your grades and everything, that's going to help you in the long run to get into maybe an Ivy League school, get different internships, even jobs probably before you even graduate out of college. But doing the silly things with your so-called friends, and I do say so-called because they're not really your friends. Anybody that makes you change who you are and that tells you, oh, you need to do this or you need to be doing that in order to get in the in crowd are not really your friends.
Well, let me just go a little bit deeper. You have a god brother, and it's almost, y'all brothers, and he's younger. He's what, 15, 14 years old?
About 15.
But yeah, I'll say it's just Lavellas. Well, and he looks up to you. You didn't plan to be a role model. How do you gauge right and wrong? What is it that makes you want to do the right thing?
Well, what makes me want to do the right thing is because I have my support group. I have some people that supports me and that tells me that I'm doing the right thing. And then there are those who, at times, when they look at me and they say, "Oh, you're doing the right thing here, but probably you just need to step out of your comfort zone and do this little bit right here, or whatever." So I can gauge and know what's right and wrong just by people's body language and just by what they tell me and by what they say, and from what I hear.
Well, what about and let me go back. You're 22 years old, and I think that I take it, you and your mother came with me many times when I was appointed to the Pro Board by Governor Captain Blanco and Bobby Gender. And could you tell them, you had some of the hearings, what amazed you? What did you observe? What you hear? What did you hear?
The main complaint is that I made one silly mistake, or I made one stupid mistake. I was been somewhere that I shouldn't be at that point. If I was only at home, or if I was here with my parents telling me to be, I wouldn't be in a predicament right now. If I wouldn't have listened to the so-called people that I was hanging out with, I wouldn't even be in here, because now I'm suffering for my consequences for my actions and my choices.
It doesn't bother you that you may be called names like a nerd, jive, and all that? That doesn't bother you?
It doesn't bother me in the least bit.
So what about the girls? That you attract? How do you, just friends? How you pick the female, the opposite sex? By, what is it? Because you, if I may say, you're my son, but you're a handsome kid. So how do you pick who you gonna hang with, or you want to interact with? How do you make that decision from the opposite sex?
By pretty much just being myself and completely remaining neutral and letting them come to me first, and then I gauge and see where they're coming from.
And what do you look for?
Well, obviously someone that has smarts and intelligent. Someone who doesn't just have the book smarts but have common sense, because you can be the smartest person in the world and be also the dumbest person when it comes to just prior knowledge or just stuff that common sense people would know easily, right from wrong. And they must be not independent, but they must have the mindset that they want to do this, and that they have goals, and that they have dreams that they want to fulfill.
Well, I want to say to my listening audience that I would like for you to call in if you want to ask my son, my dear, we had a little private joke all our lives since Cameron was a baby. He always say his only son, my only son, and this is my only son. And I invite you to call in 504-341-8255. And New Orleans Talk Radio, hostages that fight back. New Orleans Talk Network, hostages that fight back, and just let's have an open dialogue, because he's not the savior, but there's a lot that we can talk about. We're gonna take our first break, and we'll get right back with you. Cameron Alexander Mims, my special guest and co-host.
Y'all know me, this is people person here.
Big homie head.
It's your boy Fred.
This man, big fan.
Right. Listen, we're your host of the New Orleans Talk Network's Fan View. Real fast talk, real sports. Check us out every Thursday night, 6 p.m.
We're back. Talk What You Know returns on Wednesday mornings at 8 a.m. We got a brand new co-host by the name of Bob B. And hey, that's me. Also, we got some new features. We're going to be giving away, have a weekly raffle of prizes. There are multiple ways for you to win, and there's a bevy of prizes. So we need you to come on back, join us on Wednesday mornings at 8 o'clock for Talk What You Know on the New Orleans Talk Network.
Here at Jones Insurance, your full-service agency, let us take care of all your insurance needs. We provide homeowners insurance, flood, rental, commercial, auto, and life insurance. Don't let the unexpected tragedy destroy your family's future. Here at Jones Insurance, 7603 West Bank Expressway, Monroe, Louisiana, 772. Contact Lois at 504-348-1492.
The New Orleans Talk Network, now on your mobile device, on your computer, in your ear, and interactive. It's new, it's innovative, and it's on your mobile device. Android, iPhone, iPad, and on your computer. Take us wherever you go. Because we're interactive. 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255.
What's up, readers and shakers? It's your girl, Rhonda M. Lawson, sending you a personal invite to the Literary Lounge. Tune in to Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions each Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for the best in literary conversation. Each week, a different author will join us to talk to their most important readers, you. You can also call in to ask your own questions. So don't forget, each Wednesday at 7 p.m., join us in the lounge for Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions. See you there.
Nobody gives you better conversation about your quality of life.
Let everyone know you listen to
The New Orleans Talk Network.
Good morning. We're back. This is Brother Al Mims, Houses That Fight Back, New Orleans Talk Network. We're seeing and talking to my only son, Cameron Alexander Mims. We're talking about values, talking about peer pressure. We're talking about why he does the right thing. And it's a blessing to have him here because, he's been called everything but a child of God. But he knows who he is. With that said, we have a caller on the line. Would you caller? Good morning. Would you identify yourself?
Good morning. This is Miss Jones. Good morning to you, and I believe your son, Cameron, is on a topic with can't put love under the Christmas tree.
Yes. Well, yeah. What's under the Christmas tree is not really important. It's what's in our hearts. If we may say, Sister Jones.
You have that right. We can't follow what tradition says. It's about time we break just about all of it because, number one, Jesus, the newborn, was the only one to receive gifts. Nobody else received it, but they worship him and praise him for being born. And people shouldn't let society spread over depression, gloom. You didn't get this for Christmas. You're going to remember, if you remember your loved ones that you lost, you're going to remember them 365, not just this time.
Well, Sister Jones, I want to let you know I appreciate who you are and what you do. And my son, he's my only son. He's 22 years old, and I was telling him that people ripping and running, Sister Jones, all over the city, cussing and fussing and trying to get this and that, and they're forgetting about something that it's not what you trying to put on that tree or what you gonna wrap. What you got to offer in your heart. Am I right or wrong?
That's right. You have to be more sincere with one another, get along, love in a heart, not the material things. That's for those merchants.
Well,
scaring you not because you don't have this or that or the other.
I think, Sister Jones, that we as millenniums, baby boomers, we had less, but we had more, huh?
We sure did. Had much less. In fact, some of our parents didn't even bother about, say, the toys and gifts that they were giving from with the municipal auditorium because it was the leftovers anyhow.
Yes, yes.
For blacks.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. Look, let me say this. The first bike I got, Sister Jones, it was still wet. My daddy painted it. He got it from the Goodwill. And I was happy as you. Look, you thought you would give me $1 million. You know, I was just happy because I knew my parents. They struggled hard, and they let me know what it was all about. May I pick your brain, Sister Jones, just for a minute, if I may, with Cameron? Is that you being a grandmother and a soldier and a person you have seen a lot. What do you think we missing? What we missing in the black community in our homes with our children? Not everybody, but there's some.
Not everybody, just generally speaking love and peace and getting along with one another. And don't let we're here to tell you, we've had and seen adults in our time have it hard economically, but it wasn't nowhere near as badly. And we had less because we were shown and told that it's material things. Appreciate it, but don't go haywire because you don't have it. So we could tell from experience that you don't have to let anybody force on you to feel all sorry and sad because you don't have a whole bunch of things. If you have your needs met, then you have a lot. A roof over your head, family members, and it wasn't just the one household, but it was neighbors. That was considered family too. Nearby, we missing cooperation with one another and just sharing. And this is a time in all year to celebrate, I would say, Kwanzaa. It's not just, a seasonal thing, and it's not even really about the traditional way of Christmas, but Kwanzaa would bring us together. Collective economics, self-determination, what have you. We're missing a lot of those things that Kwanzaa speaks of.
Well, I want to say this, and I can just speak for myself, and I would have anybody to challenge me. Sister Jones, when my only son Cameron was born, I was ready for him. I didn't look for nobody. The godparents that he was chosen or they came to, they were spiritual. They didn't have They didn't have no money. Matter of fact, he stayed in the projects. But let me tell you what he was. He was spiritually led and Bible fed. His godfather was a deacon, and Cameron, I don't think you got much financing, but you got a lot of knowledge from him, huh?
A lot.
Yes.
Right. So, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that would take you a long way. It really would. It gives you strength, too.
Yeah, so Sister Jones, I just want to let you know that we appreciate you. You're a family, and we have another caller coming in, but I want you to know, Sister Jones, you are an icon. You are a role model. You are a model. You're somebody who knows, and we got to look. We can't take it with us. You keep doing what you're doing. I always tell you that from my heart, yeah?
All right, you too. And go tell it on the mountain, just like I said, that Jesus Christ is born. It's not the exact date because we're really a little bit off with the date, but the idea of putting together that was time to believe and acknowledge it. Yes. And don't let them put that XMAS in happy holiday. They took the word holy and made holiday.
Yes,
So people be mindful. Just be mindful. You have to make some kind of a change, and it's not the end of the world because you don't have a Christmas tree or a pine tree.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Sister Jones. I love you much.
Love you all, too.
We have a caller on line 2. Caller, would you identify yourself? Good morning. This is Brother Mims with Cameron Alexander Mims, special guest and my co-host.
Good morning, my brothers. How are y'all this morning?
Hi. I know that voice. Is that Brother Greyhouse?
That's right. That's right.
Hey, man, look. You should be fresh as a flower in just 1 hour.
I got to use that one.
Oh, yeah, man. Look, my son, we went to to a homegoing for one of his co-workers, and the lady said, we need some new material, huh, Cameron? So, Gray House, you can use that one. But look, let me tell you something, bro. It's a blessing to have you call, Ms. Jones call, you call people with moral value. You're a father, a husband, a friend, a soldier. Tell me, bro, you know, people are ripping and running, you know, and trying to put something in a box and put it under the Christmas tree. What are we missing? What are we missing in our community, especially in the black community, Gray House? Could you tell me that?
I think we're missing two main things. Love, for one, and the other one would be role models.
Okay.
Love
When you
role
break
models.
when you break that down, because some people, some women and some of the brothers, and I'm talking about our people, they always think about a physical love. When you break it down, what you're talking about, bro, please?
As a matter of fact, I can make it as simple as this. If I'm walking in front of you and you see me fall, why should I have to ask you for help to get up?
Yes, indeed. Yes.
You know, I mean, to me, that makes sense. If you see me fall, why should I have to ask, or excuse me, my brother, excuse me, my sister, can you help me to get up? That's supposed to be mandatory that we all take in. You know, something as simple as that we all take and help one another up to get to the next level where we need to be at in our life. You know, no matter what it is, you know. And the role models is like, too many of us, we are afraid of each other, and all we got to do is just sit down and have a conversation with one another and find out we are more the same than we are differently.
Come on. Well, let me tell you something. Talking to, and my son's here, and I know he know who he is. You know, at Gray House, I've known you, and you've always, you're not going with the status quo. You're not going with the popularity. You're going with the word, huh? You're going where. Sometimes you may go by yourself. Am I right or wrong, bro?
That's right. Because one thing I noticed about the journey that we take, it's not going to always be with the crowd, you know? And sometimes elevation is a single walk. You know, sometimes you got to test. It hurts, but sometimes you got to tell people, and sometimes it be people that you know and that you love, look, I know what my calling is, and I got to stick to my calling. The destination is not the key. It's the journey.
And
because we already know what we're going to do once we get to the destination, but we don't know what's going to happen while we're on this journey.
Well, I want to say to you, my brother, is that as men, and I'm going to put it on the men, I'm not going to even go with the women, what do we need to be doing at Christmas time? I know we need to, you know, since they done started this Santa Claus, you know, and, you know, kids need to have something under the tree. But what's some things we missing? We as men missing as a father, an uncle, a husband, a friend, a soldier. What are we missing? What we got messed? What we got? We kind of like on the wrong track. Would you help me out with that, Gray House? What's going on? We done got commercials, huh?
Exactly. We need to stand up and be men. Not just say, "Oh, I'm the man, I'm the head, and I'm all that." We need to stand up and start being men and start walking to our God-given purpose.
Yeah, I can't slap my wife and tell her and dog her and tell out and tell my children that I'm the man and I'm the one to eat first and they gotta wait after me and I don't want nobody telling me when I'm wrong. That's not the man, bro. That's not the man.
But I'm saying though, I mean, all that sound good, and all that stuff is some things what men say. But how are you going to classify as a man when you're not walking as a man? You know, just because you a man physically and mentally doesn't necessarily mean that you doing what you're supposed to be doing as a man.
Right. May I ask you, Cameron, as a a young man. What did you see as you were coming up? What did you see as manhood and fatherhood and the man's place in the community or the household or his home? What did you see?
Well, from what I was raised at, I've seen that manhood, basically summing it all up, it's one word to me, and it's sacrifice. There's times that you're going to make sacrifices for things that you may not want to do, but you have to do. Times that, it may seem hard, but you got to struggle through it at times.
Gray House?
Right. Man, Cam said it all right then and there, and I agree 135, if we can go higher than that, percent with that, It is, because I believe, and it still falls back on the man, because if I'm a boy watching my daddy,
come on,
why I won't be like the man down the street around the corner?
Come on.
Why I won't be like my daddy?
Come on.
But that brings it back to what is daddy doing? Because if daddy not doing the right thing, and if son want to be like his daddy, how do you think the son going to end up? Or how you think the daughter going to end up?
Come on.
And you know, when it comes to our daughters, I feel,
come on,
as
I
a
got
man,
3 of them.
we need to teach our daughters the game. So that way, when they grow up and they go looking for their husband, they gonna already recognize what game is, and they can be like, you know what, man, my dad already told me that. I'm not taking no wood nickels. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
I know what a man is when I see a man.
Yes,
and that's what I want.
And you know, bro, because our girls are being bamboozled out here. I see them in my neighborhood, Gray House. They selling for less, and they think because somebody shows them a little attention, and they start slapping them around and all this. Let me tell you something, bro. As your husband, I'm a husband, and my son, my only son, we respected our wives. We respect our wives. Let me tell you something. My wife, she's a godly woman, and you, as your wife is, and let me tell you something. My son, my wife used to tell my son, and I'm going to have to tell him, and I hope I don't embarrass him, don't bring no hoe home. My wife used to tell him that, you better bring somebody that respects me, respects you, and respects their home. And he pretty much done that, and I never disrespected my wife or beat on. We never fussed or argued. We had differences, but I wanted him to know that I love my wife. Now, we disagreed, Gary House, but don't we have a disagreement sometimes, don't we, bro?
Oh, yes, indeed. I mean, and that's life. I mean, teeth and tongue in the same mouth, they don't get along all the time. So, I mean, you know how that go. But at the same time, you just said a mouthful. You don't disrespect your wife in the midst of the kids, And a lot of people, to kind of bring it back to the women, the reason why the women, I believe, is like they are, because they just been, it's like they looking for validation and too much things instead of looking for they being able to validate themselves. I believe if the women today will raise up most of them, because most of them, they out here taking care of their business, but I believe if most of them would take and raise up these standards and raise up these values to where just because you selling dope and got all the money, I don't need that. I want somebody who's going to provide for me that I ain't got to worry about every night. Who's going to come home and treat me like a lady instead of being, you remember when we was going to school and the guy that was making the 4.0, nobody wanted him. But the guy that had all the rocks in his pocket, that was the most popular person in the school.
Come on, Gray House.
We need to flip that back. Let me get the man with the 4.0 and don't worry about the man with the dope. And to me, that's going to lower. That's going to raise the standards of a real woman.
Gray House, let me tell you what I heard. Listen to me. What I'm gonna say like this. I'm gonna try to imitate what they say. Girl, he got that money. Girl, he make that money. He got, he's slinging. And some women, bro, they want to be, they want to think they want, it makes them feel good to have that gives them some notoriety or a class. Something wrong, bro. Something wrong.
Yeah.
I just want to say to Cameron, Mr. Gray House, what makes you, and I say this all the time, again, what makes you stay on the right side rather than go out on? You never be tempted to go on the other side?
Not at all.
And why is it that the girls that and there are a lot of girls and they look nice and thing, but I challenge what they Gray House. I see what they're all about. Why is it that you prefer to deal with a conservative church down, and they're beautiful women. But why is it that you want someone who has class and have credibility?
Because that type of woman that I'm looking for is the type that she don't need nobody else to define who she is. She already know who she is and what she's about, and she has her own mindset.
Oh, what you say about that, Gray House?
I agree with him again. Because there ain't nothing like knowing who you are. I seen this commercial one time, and like the guy, he was sitting there, he was doing something, and every time he'd do something, he'd say, "They say don't do this. They say don't eat this. They say don't drink this.
Who is it?
They say don't go here." And you know, the meaning of the commercial was saying, don't do what they say, do you.
Mm-hmm.
Knowledge of self is very, very important, because once you, just like Cam said, once you begin to know who you are, ain't nobody in the world can dictate to you who you're supposed to be. Because for one, you already know who you are. You know who you are. You're not what they say who you are.
Well, then one thing I think, and I heard you say it so many times, Gray House, first you got to know who you belong to.
That's it.
And if you belong to our Lord and Savior Jesus, and I'm not ashamed to say it here, and I will say that I love the Lord, and He heard my cry, and you know, He taught me how to be a good father. And I'm not bragging, but I'm gonna tell you, no, I'm not satisfied where I'm at, Gray House, or where we at, but I'm going in that direction, and I'm gonna tell you something. When I make mistakes, it's not because I ain't trying to do the right thing, you know, and it ain't nothing like a good woman in your life. Well, you know, let me tell you something. When a man, and I tell my son all the time when that time comes, when a man take a wife, that's a good thing, huh, bro?
Right.
You know, so as I said, bro, I just want you to know that I appreciate who you are, what you do. Welcome back to the United States. Welcome back home. I hope you and your wife had a great time. Hey, bro, there's work to be done, and I thank you for who you are and defining whom you are. Because, you know, I know you my brother, you my little brother, man, and you're a soldier. I done seen you stand by yourself, bro, and you're morally fed and spiritually led, bro, and I thank you for that, yeah?
I appreciate y'all, man. Love you, Cam.
Love you too.
Gray House, I'll holler at you later, bro. This is Hostages That Fight Back. My host and special guest, Cameron Alexander Mims. Cameron, I just wanted to let you know that I love you, man. I'm not ashamed to tell the world that this is my son. He's a male and I'm a male. I'm an old male and he's a young male. He coming and I'm going. But guess what? I'm not going, every opportunity I want to show them or tell the world that this is my seed, this is my son. I'm well pleased with him. He don't have to try to define himself. He know who he is and who he belongs to. And I gave him my name, you know, Mims. And my daddy gave me my name. And I'm passing it on to him, and you don't mess it up. So I want to know I'm well pleased with him. We're going to take a second break, and we'll get back with you. This is Brother Al Mims with my host and special guest, my only son, Cameron Alexander Mims. We'll be right back with you.
Join in on Mondays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. for Breaking the Silence with Dr. Patricia Fry. There are no limitations or boundaries. We talk about life, and guess what? That includes you. So download the app today, New Orleans Talk Network, and subscribe on YouTube. That's every Monday, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. New Orleans Talk Network, Breaking the Silence with Dr. Patricia Fry.
Our listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation. 504-341-8255. The New Orleans Talk Network.
Merry Monday. It's your girl, Mary J. I want you to tune in with me to Real Talk with Mary J on New Orleans Talk Network every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Then follow me to blogtalkradio.com/Real Talk with Mary J at 10 p.m. It's going to be a Merry Monday every Monday at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. You've just tuned into New Orleans Talk Network.
Are you looking for a home to live stream your next event? Give us a call here at Bethesda Community Event Center, the only place on the Gulf Coast that can host and broadcast live your wedding reception, your baby shower, business seminar, and any other special event. Give us a call at 504-708-9454 for more details.
Hello, this is Dr. Glenda E. Williams.
This is Charles Stewart.
Dr. Anthony Williams.
And I want to encourage you to join Church Without Walls every Monday morning from 11 a.m. to 12 noon.
And we want to encourage you to promote God's plan and not man's plan.
Don't you dare miss it.
Nobody gives you better conversation about your quality of life.
Let everyone know you listen to
The New Orleans Talk Network.
This is Brother Al Mims with my only son, Cameron Alexander Mims, who is my special guest and my co-host. And with the time that we have left, I'm going to just ask Cameron, if I may, put him under the microscope and say, well, you know, Cameron, why do you do what you do? You know, you would be called a nerd, you would be called jive, you'd be called, you know, a bunch of other names that I can't come to my mind right now. But what is your advice to the young brothers, the young ladies in the community? And even black or white, but we're gonna say just in the black community, because you know our community is getting in trouble because they're trying to follow the crowd, and the crowd gets us in trouble. But let me pick your brain for me. Would you have any suggestions to, you know, friendship and even some of our family members?
Well, first and foremost, I just want to say, to those of you out there who may be called a nerd or may feel left out or out of the in crowd and may have very few friends, and if not any friends at all, just keep your head up. I'll tell you right now, you get in a lot less trouble when you're by yourself, because you know who you are and you spend time with yourself to know that this is the person that I am. This is who I'm going to be. This is who I want to be, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Too many people try to be in the in crowd. Like I said, I've met people and even still meeting people now who want to impress their friends, go out drinking late at night, saying how they're going to do this and they're going to have this and that. Just look at your future. Think about your future, where you want to end up at. You know, do you want to spend every waking day waking up on the corner of the streets trying to make $500, you know, a day or whatever, or do you rather plan out your future to where you have a better life for yourself, you're able to move out of the neighborhood that you're in into a better upscale neighborhood? Just the fact that, you know, don't let people dictate to you who you are. Don't lose sight of your goals and your accomplishments and what you want to do in life, whether it be school, life, whatever you want to be, whatever you want to do. Don't let nobody deter you away from your dream. If you have a dream, you stick with it.
And you know, and what is your dream, Cameron? What is your, and you know, for the listening audience, what is your dream?
My dream is real simple, is to be better than you and just to live out my days as God sees fit. Whether I live to be 80, 90, because there's not a lot of black males these days that live past even 20 years old, even 15 years old. Nowadays, they're getting locked up, spending life in jail, some going to the grave early. You know, as a young black male, you'd be blessed even if you live to see 30 years old living in this country.
and as I said, and even I'm just gonna say in our neighborhood, there's no such thing as no good neighborhood because evil goes to and fro to see what it can devour. If I'm right or wrong, but what do you see that people are trying to impress people that don't care about them, right?
Right.
And so you got to know who you are, whom you belong to, confidence in yourself, and stay on track because you can easily get off track. I wanted to say this too. My son has been anchor in my life too because he kept me out of trouble because there's some people who have hurt my feelings and said some things to me that went right to my heart. And when that happens, you want to retaliate. The flesh, I mean, you want to do some crazy stuff. And I can't do that with him present because he needs to see me doing something different. And I thought about it. I had to think about it. But I want my son to react and do what I'm doing. So, Cameron, you have helped make your father, your only father, you always say, our personal joke is that you helped make me a better man because if I didn't have you, and I wouldn't know what I'd do. We got Captain Black, my brother from another mother, calling in. Captain Black.
The one and only. Hello, Super Mims and Super Mims Jr.
How you doing, Cap?
I'm
say, bro,
fine.
we got about 4 minutes left. Could you just let us know well, we were talking about role models and what's under the tree and whatever. Say, bro, why are you a good man? Why are you a decent man? Why you not on the other side of the corridor, on the other side of the line, if I may say? Why you do the right thing?
Because I'm not a scumbag. I mean, it's a very simple equation. Either you're going to wake up in the morning thinking about how you can rob people, cheat people, hurt people, or you're going to wake up in the morning seeing how you can help people and help them help themselves. Very simple equation. Everybody wakes up in the morning who is blessed to wake up, and they make that choice.
Yeah.
I don't see any reason to make excuses for people who harm people, and that's why I want to send you a message, Brother Mims. The Federal Consent Decree Monitor said better late than never regarding the arrest of somebody who thought he could threaten you and your wife. So, again, that's a perfect example. This individual spent every waking hour doing things to undermine others, and now he has to finally face the consequences of that thinking.
Oh, yeah.
We got to stop turning to institutions and turn to ourselves and say, what do I want to do? What do I want to be? Instead of waiting to see if somebody's going to ration some good or ration a role model.
Well, let me say to Cap about good. Now, there's something going on at the Healing Center tomorrow.
That's correct.
Would you give them that information and any
Sure.
phone number or
From
something?
6 p.m. until 8 p.m., you will have a holiday dinner, free.
Where? Where is that at?
5-star restaurant, 5-star hotel, food for free. And the focus is on the homeless, but everybody is welcome because it is well-deserved by the underserved to have a free meal of this quality.
Is there a number or anything, the address of Cap?
2372 St. Claude. That's on the corner of St. Claude and St. Rock. Right up front, you walk through the front door, and you'll see all the tables laid out for you.
Okay.
We hope the Super Mims will make a cameo as he flies around making people happy. And definitely the homeless outreach from your church, all the participants there are invited.
Well,
we want to try and get as many people as we
give us
can.
that one more time again, please.
2372 St. Claude Avenue on the corner of St. Claude and St. Rock.
That's the Healing Center.
From 6 p.m. tomorrow.
The Healing Center.
Yeah, at the New Orleans Healing Center. Free food provided by 5-star restaurants and hotel chefs.
Wow. And that's a great thing, Cap. listen to me, bro. I'm going to see you later on. I have some things for you. But, man, I want to thank you for your dedication, your commitment, your sacrifice. And I'm going to tell you something. This city is a better place because they got a Captain Black. And everybody should have a Captain Black in their life.
You're too kind. But I can, of course, find people who will say otherwise. Goodbye.
Hey, man, you have a great day, my brother. See you later. Cameron, you want to have some parting remarks, man, my brother?
I just want to say, yesterday, one of my coworkers lost his battle with depression, and I just want to say right now, my condolences go out to my coworker Brett, who lost his nephew Austin. Brett and your family, you guys are in my thoughts and prayers. This week is, this year everything is about bullying. It goes back to your friends you hang out with, people you know. Don't let somebody bully you or even tell you that you're no good or you should be doing this instead of doing this with us. Just be mindful who you hang out with. Just learn a lot. A lot of times just listen to what people have to say, and then you judge for yourself whether you should hang out with them or not, because a lot of times you will find out the person that they are just by listening to them talk.
And with that said, I'm going to say thank you, Lord, with your blessings. Thank you for all those servants. Thank you for everything you have done in my life, our lives. We love you and we pray. Thank you for Jesus. It's my prayer in Jesus' name. This is Brother Mims at Hostage That Fight Back with my co-host and only son and my guest, Cameron Alexander Mims. We'll see you on the other side next year, after Christmas. You be blessed.